Good. Um, Called you all together here because we are looking for next year's team captains, and you all are put in your bid to become one. And we just want to make sure that we understand from today forward what the process of being a captain, helping out roles, and leadership roles are going to have for us. So this is a Lee and Midland High Captain Candidates meeting. Okay, welcome.
All right, Coach, one thing I forgot to tell you, on your phone, if you look in the top right-hand corner, there's like a little speech bubble. That'll turn on those notes that we came up with.
Okay.
Can you see that now?
Speech bubble. Yeah. Okay, by attending this meeting, you are already taking the first step in being a good captain by taking time out of your day to meet with the coaches and learn what will be expected of you if you are elected by your teammates as a captain. The purpose of today's meeting is to go over application requirements to be put on the ballot, the responsibilities outlined in the captain contract, additional roles and responsibilities given to captains at any point in the season, deadlines for applications, election dates and process, and the plan announcement date. Okay. If you have any questions, put in a chat if you want. First of all, the captain application requirement that most of you all have met, not everybody. Submit a captain contract signed by you and your parent. Submit a half-page essay about why you would make a good captain and your goals for your team next season. Okay, that's something to give you time to think about. We want to know, as coaches, what's your outlook for your team? And by putting it in writing, it really helps us get a hold and a grasp of what you want to do. Okay. Yes, the essay is new this year, but will remain a part of the future captain applications. Captains need to have an idea of what they can bring to the table. That's why we've done this, what they can bring to the table and what they want their team to accomplish in the future season. Goals may change over the summer after meeting with their team, but at least you have an idea in mind. Okay. Remember, a captain is just not a figurehead. I'm a captain, and that's all I do is sit off on the side and work hard. Okay. This year's essays are especially important because you'll be unable to speak to your teammates before the election as you normally would.
My intention with those captain's essays is I will combine them into one document and post a Lee girls candidates, Lee boys candidates, Midland boys candidates, Midland girls candidates. So we'll have your name and your essay beneath it for your teammates to look over before they go vote. And remember, all of these contracts are due online through Google Classroom.
Okay. We are one town. We are one team made up of two. Each individual team needs captains to help the coaches unite them as one. That is why we have a contract of terms. This contract provides the guidelines of captains. So you can always refer back to this contract that you sign also during the year to get some ideas of what ground we're hoping that you cover. Now we're going to break down the captain contract. When you and your parents sign the contract, you agree that you understand that you're putting yourself up to be elected as a captain. You will be a team leader in and out of the pool. If you cannot adequately complete the actions required of a captain, you can be dismissed by the coaching staff. These are the key categories of our captain contract. Number one, your team leader. 2, coach team liaison. 3, motivator, morale booster. 4, a rule enforcer. We don't have you guys really hammering people down, but the rule, hello Garrett, the rule enforcement is like when we go out of town trips, does everybody from your team have the goal cards ready before they get on the bus? We know the traveling dress code now, so helping us with that. And maybe you will be putting out confirmation text to your teammates before we head out the day before. As we go through, they may not go in the same order as the actual contract, and several may be repeated as across multiple categories, okay? Team leader. Captains are held to a higher standard because they are the leader of the team. This is both at practice, at meets, at school, and around the community. This is a competitive swimming, not swimming lessons. You are the leader for your team, and you need to be at every meet to lead your team. If you're not going to be at a meet, you would talk to the coaches. There are circumstances where you cannot be. We understand that. But for the most part, we don't have that long of a season. As far as a lot of swim meets, we need you there. At practices, you will be looked up to and possibly asked to help lead practice occasionally. It is important for you to always complete every set, pay attention, read the workout, and be a leader during practice, whether you are at the front or back of the lane.
One of the things I'd like to throw out with that, this past year, we had the mishap at Midland High, where we had to go into a lockdown at COM, and I had to rely on the captains to help me with that practice while I help manage that situation. So we need people who will do what the captains or what is needed to be done to keep the team going during practice.
95% attendance. Okay, if you miss practice, you must make it up within 10 days. That's just not for you. That's for everybody. Be on time for practices, meetings, and meets. Early is on time. On time is late, especially for the captains. You know, you're going to learn in the work world, you got to be there 30 to 15 minutes early. That way, if anything needs to be talked about before the meet starts, warm-ups, whatever you can help out with. Pass all classes, of course, for all grading periods. You can't compete if you fail. Captains should take care of business in and out of the pool. Adhere to guidelines in the MISD swimming and diving and MISD athletic policies. I know because of the situation we had at that Christmas party, not all parents and not all students read the MISD athletic handbook, and people were really floored at what the situation was. But that's what we have to follow as coaches. That's what our swimmers need to follow, and coming that from you as a leader, that's what we want you to help. Okay, you must on the coach team liaison, keep contact with swimmers and divers, check up on your teammates. If something doesn't seem right, inform the coach. Okay, attend all monthly captains meetings, team functions, and team meetings. I really would like you all to meet as captains at least once a month. Talk about meets that are coming up, how you can make things better for the team, what type of situations can help the team better. It comes from you all because you should be hearing feedback from your teammates, okay? A lot of times teenagers aren't going to talk to the coaches about the most intimate things, but they talk about it in the locker rooms or at school, okay? I'm not saying you have to tell us everything, but your planning meetings can be around situations where you know what would help the team, you know what's being divisive in the team, and how we can do things to make things always better. Help and design team T-shirts, okay? And, you know, sending out a text, letting everybody know when the money's due. I know Mrs. Day does a great job on that. A lot of times people don't bring their money, and a lot of times athletes are going to check your text as a captain, I guarantee you, over a parent email or sometimes a coach's text, okay?
We'll talk more about the team shirts here in a little bit.
Yeah. Act a liaison between the team and the coaching staff. At championship meets and other large meets, if you're a captain, you'll be called to the coaches meeting to be meet with the referee. At meets with all 4 teams represented, a male captain from one high school and a female captain will attend. If the meet's really big, they don't want it crowded in there. After these meetings, it is the responsibility of the captains to relay the information to their teams, okay? Again, captains need to be at every meet and practice and be role models at both. That is only the start of being a motivator and a morale booster. Okay, lead cheers and help keep up morale at meets and practices. Captains do not sit on the bleachers the whole time, listen to music on their phones during meets. Captains need to get their teammates up and at the end of the pool cheering for teammates who are swimming. There are times when you can relax, but it's not as in some meets where we always see where we have to actually take the phones and put them in the bags, okay? Team shirts, captains will team up with the shirt committee chair for the booster club and help in the design of next year's shirts for their school. Midland High do not need to be the same, but the school shirt needs to be the same for both genders, okay? Designs must be approved by the coaching staff and booster club. Assisting with the banquet will be discussed later. Just because you are the captain of a particular school does not mean you cannot support the other. Captains need to bring the two teams together through team traditions and by cheering for both schools. You work out together, you push each other. So that should be a gimme. Yes, it's fine to be happy for your team, but you also need to show support for the others. If you are the Midland captain and Lee wins the race, cheer for them. If you are the lead captain and none of the teammates are swimming, get them together and cheer for Midland. We're one town made up of two teams, okay? But we support each other as one. Build on this, teach your teammates this, and keep this tradition going. Get with past captains, discuss team traditions for your school and for MISD, and keep these traditions alive. That's a West Texas thing, folks. It's nowhere else like that. We're two different teams work out. They do it up in Lubbock. So it's just a West Texas thing. And it's really unique all by itself. Rule enforcer, captains must do what is right at practice, on the bus, in the hotel, and at meets without instruction from the coaches. They must also help motivate and remind their teammates to do the same. If a captain hears or knows of possible infraction, it is their responsibility to report it to the coaches. If captains aren't going to the meets or practice or what they're supposed to be doing in practice, then your teammates will feel they don't have to do it either. I guarantee you that they look at every move you make. So if you're a person that doesn't like somebody watching the move you make, you might want to think about not running for captain. You have to do what's right in order to keep your teammates motivated to do what is right at meets and practices. Captains must help the coaches make sure their athletes are properly dressed for meets, travel, and receiving awards. We know when we go up to an awards stand, you have to have team warm-up top on. Be on time and help make sure your teammates are on time for practices, meetings, and meets. Remind them, call them, make sure they get over there on time somehow. Captains also be a constant reminder and completing good goal cards prior to each meet. Remember, goal cards are due before stepping on the bus for away meets when you arrive on the deck for home meets.
One thing we need help with right now, especially once the captains are elected, is getting people to transition over to the new band program. And we'll talk about that later. It's part of our new communications system.
Yep. Not all the roles and responsibilities are in the contract. There may be some things in which the coaches and a booster club may call upon the captains for assistance. And don't be afraid to step out of a captain box. We're not trying to put you in one. But a lot of times you all have great ideas or come up with things that can really help the team in different ways. And you come from a different perspective than coaches. You're the athlete. You're inside the group. So don't be afraid to ever speak up and throw out new ideas for us. Or if we're telling you something and maybe you can tweak it to make it a little bit better, okay? These responsibilities are not in the contract, but the coaches and booster club will look to the captains for guidance. Booster clubs always need help with ideas for homecoming team floats. We waited almost last year. We didn't have one for Midland, I believe. They will look to the captains for help. Start thinking about it now. Get online. What do they do across the globe? Team functions are always welcome, but they do not need to interfere with practice times or meets. Not always, very rarely. Part of your application is to outline your goals for your team for next year. If you are elected, you need to have a team meeting to establish solid goals with your team, okay? In August, coaches will meet with each team's captains to establish these goals. These goals need to be constantly communicated with your teammates as a way to motivate them at both meets and practice. Swimming hard, practicing hard, that could be a common theme. Part of your application is to outline your goals, okay, for this team. Captains will now be involved in the planning of the banquet with the Booster Club. Booster Club will be in charge, but captains will have input on a possible theme and will require to help with setup and tear down always. Okay. If we have not had any submissions at this point,
for this one, Coach Flato and I discussed this earlier today. We have had very few candidates submit their papers at this time, their contracts and their essays. So we are going to extend the deadline to Friday, May 1st at 4:30. If it's not submitted by then, it's not going on the ballot. So that will change in Google Classroom, and I'll send out a notification after this meeting. But Friday at 4:30 is when when it says, it's incorrect on this slide.
Okay, as you're here, remember you and your parents signed a contract that you understand that you're putting yourself up to be elected as captain. That's an awesome step in life, I think, for all of you all, stepping out in front. How many people always say always complain, but they never come out and they step out and become a leader? That's a great way to start at your junior and senior year in life to learn those skills. You're going to be a team leader in and out of the pool. If you cannot adequately complete the actions required of a captain, you can be dismissed. Elections will take place on Google Forms sent through Google Classroom. Only this year's freshmen, sophomore, and juniors will be able to vote for you. Voters can only vote for their school and gender. There's no slide over. Midland can't vote for Lee. There's no reason for it.
Midland girls can't vote for Midland boys.
Except divers, but they're all from one school anyway. Anyone who does not vote correctly will have their ballot thrown out. Ballots will open at 8 a.m. on May 4th and close at 5 p.m. on May 8th. Okay, May 4th to May 8th. Remind your teammates, you're a captain, go out and promote yourself. You want to be it. Remind your teammates to get on and vote. If they have not logged on to and joined the Google Classroom, they need to do that ASAP. I know we have about 95% of the team. I've already checked. Ballots can only be completed by @Midland ISD, not Google accounts. Okay, so your school account, I guess. We will have an all-team meeting on May 10th to announce the 2021 captains. We're really looking forward to it. Next year's meets basically are the same. We're looking for one other to add on to would be a dual meet against San Angelo, just a dual meet, them against us. But pretty much the schedule is the same as last year. Okay. Any questions so far? No? If you have not done a captain essay, get out there and get on there and do one. What do you want to bring to the team? What do you call leadership? How can you motivate and keep life fun on the pool deck, even in those hard workouts or hard parts of the season? And I'd like to put that in writing, because when we go to vote, your essay is going to be underneath your name, so people can look at who you are and what you're about. Okay.
Like the seniors do not get to vote; they're done.
Seniors are done. Of course, next year's freshmen, they're not even on the roster yet. So this is basically everybody that you know, freshmen, juniors, and sophomores this year. Awesome that you all are interested. Everybody, names that I'm looking at definitely can be a great leader for this team. And appreciate you coming on. Those who apply late, we will be contacting with them. As Reed said, we've extended it till May 1st. And after that, May 4th, we will start the voting. Any questions? Go ahead and unmute and ask. No questions?
All right. if the coaches can stay on for a moment, everybody else can go.
Later.